too. I wouldn't want to get the vote results in, so
I did.
drag my feet a little bit.
You can't give me either this or this, can you? Everybody back? Okay, everybody ready? We are now back entering in from executive session. Do I have a motion that we go back into regular session out of executive session?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, we're now back in regular session. Number 8 under exec 8A. I don't know if I should read the whole thing or can just, we need to call for a vote on 8A. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a
After
motion.
discussion,
Doesn't matter.
I studied for it, so.
You said you were gonna do it, so have at it.
After discussion and consideration and history and information provided regarding the application for a disability pension for Mr. Hutchinson, I move that we deny that request.
We have a motion for denial for 8A. Do we have a second?
I second.
Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Nay.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
So an aye vote is to confirm or to approve the denial. Aye.
Wait. Oh, and I,
if you want to deny, you would say yes.
I'll change mine to yes.
Okay.
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Motion denied. Motion approved. Sorry.
Requested.
Motion to be denied has been approved. Okay, from C through H, there will be no action on items C through H under executive session. This will conclude our executive session. Do we have a motion that we... Well, we have no new business, I guess. Is there any new business? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and a second. Would the clerk record the vote?
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. We're now adjourned out of the regular council meeting. Let the record show it is 7:30 p.m. And the regular council meeting, well, actually, this is the, let me get my right deals here. We're now under the Utility Authority. The Durant Utility Authority is now in session. We have one consent item.
Call roll.
I'm sorry. Let's make sure everybody's still here.
Okay. Trustee Shear,
Here.
Trustee Tomlinson, Trustee Morris,
Here.
Vice Chairman Brittingham,
Here.
Chairman Groby.
Here, we have a quorum, so we're all here. Our first order of business is consent item, and there is one item under consent, number A. Do we have a motion to approve, which is the regular minutes of the January 14, 2020 meeting?
Move approval of the consent items.
Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion, a second. Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear,
Here.
Trustee Tomlinson,
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham.
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye. We have information or, let's see, number 3, information items. If there are no questions, we will move to item 4 under administration. Number A, consider approval of resolution number 2020-04, repealing resolution number 20-11-45 of the Durant City Utilities Authority.
This resolution would repeal Resolution 2011-45. It eliminated the free dumping and established the twice-monthly curbside trash service. The section is already included in the ordinance. A resolution can't overrule a ordinance, so this really just needs to be repealed. Approve the repeal.
Are there any questions?
Move we follow the city manager's recommendation. Repeal
Second.
resolution number 2011-45.
Do we have a second? We have a motion, we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear.
The yes vote
Okay.
is approving the bill, yes.
Trustee Tomlinson,
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham.
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye. We repeat that, motion carries, or motion doesn't carry. Motion carries. Next on the agenda, adjournment. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Make the motion, we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear.
Aye.
Trustee Tomlinson.
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham.
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye. We are now adjourned out of the Utility Authority. It is now 7:35, and we will move into the Durant Airport Authority monthly meeting. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Shear.
Here.
Trustee Tomlinson.
Here.
Trustee Morris,
Here.
Vice Chairman Brittingham.
Here.
Chairman Groby.
Here, we have a quorum. We're all here. First order of business, consent item. A, consider approval of regular meeting minutes of January 14th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve consent item A.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear.
Aye.
Trustee Tomlinson.
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham.
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye. Consent item accepted. Number 3, information items, airport manager monthly report. Does anybody have any questions on the monthly report of the airport manager?
I do.
Okay.
You do?
Yes.
Did you get that, Cindy? Councilman Shara?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Miss Katie.
Hello. Hey. Yes. Danny, you're.
What's the
sorry.
situation on the aviation gas, 100 octane low lead cells?
So unfortunately, the FAA has to mandate approved construction engineering firms for every airport to make, to go through any kind of alterations, and these things go through a construction project that has to be approved. That said, we already have an engineering firm who works with the airport. They don't do that, so I'm getting costs right now and quotes from other approved FAA engineering firms that can put a fuel tank in. And once we have those quotes, and I have 2 quotes, 1 no quote, I'm trying to get a few more. The price estimate on getting engineering specs and the electrical work done, with the city being able to provide, we're hoping to provide the concrete work for the pad for the structure itself, is all been coming in at the $22,000 to $25,000 range. And then the tank we're estimating to be at $175,000 for the structure itself.
That sounds like less than what you were estimating before. Is this a self-contained unit?
Double wall, self-contained, above ground, brand new, bells and whistles, direct feed, won't have to have a buried line. They essentially pull up to the tank. There'll be some bollards there to protect around the structure, but they can pull up within a distance, and the fuel pump and dispenser will be right in front of the tank itself,
You have to have an engineer to do that, to
according to the government, sir.
find someplace to park it?
Yep.
You've kind of answered my questions, Katie, but I think for me, though, what kind of time frame are we looking at?
It's dependent. These tanks are manufactured to specs.
I'm sorry?
These tanks are manufactured to specs, which is why we're utilizing the engineering firms. The manufacture process takes 4 to 5 months, and there is a potential to buy one that has been made the way we need it to be made, but I won't know that until the engineers go through all the specs and we approve the process of, using their firm, and that'll come before council. If we could use the one that is already pre-made, we could have it here as soon as we can ship it. But it'll take it'll take a while for the engineering companies to provide the specs and be authorized to be used. That makes sense?
We don't know how long a while is, so.
I don't, not right now.
Is the one that you're looking at that's already done, is it a new one or is it a
Brand new.
used one?
Brand new. It was set up. It was manufactured for avgas, so there may be some modifications that we could do if we looked into purchasing that one. But there is one that was made for avgas. Yes.
Okay. Did we get anything done on the security cameras?
Not yet. We're looking at pulling some budget items, if I have the ability to do that, and making some upgrades. There's a fund line GL that I have for terminal upgrades, and we may be able to use that for purchasing at least cameras that see the ramp and have the ability to move. None of my cameras right now have the ability to, they're all stationary, and this one would be a movable one where you could pan, tilt, zoom, as well as upgrade the ones on the building. But
You have any luck finding the missing cameras?
no.
No?
These cameras you mentioned, are they all included in the $7,000?
And I'm sorry.
There's an estimate in here for $7,000.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And actually, that would include also extra 7 cameras on my hangars. So that would be the total cost for the new ones on the building, the pan, tilt, zoom, which would give us the ability for potentially maybe dispatch or somebody monitoring to move around and look at things, as well as 7 new cameras around my hangars.
Any other questions for Miss Katie? Then we shall move on to administration. Number 5, consider approval of supplemental agreement number 4, C-2018-60A for a change in scope of work to be performed on the runway extension project located at Durant Regional Airport, Acre Field.
I am back in front of you today as this project, as we know, is almost over. The runway's open backed up, and we have the primary surface finished. There were a couple of change orders I need to bring before you today. The first one is change the scope of work for Overland Construction. Some riprap that was supposed to be used in the drainage that was left out of the original scope of work for the bidding process. We need to do the work. It's all completely reimbursable, not completely, 95% reimbursable by the grant that we're using. It's eligible. So it's really going to cost us 5% of the difference. This is a pretty standard change order. I'm looking for the number. I don't want to miss 23,607.50. Again, it's an addition for the riprap that we need to finish the drainage system off.
Need a motion? We need a motion?
Are there any other questions? Anybody?
I've got one. Marty, did we leave that out? Or how did that happen?
Well, that's all done by the project administrator. Somebody didn't catch it somewhere along the way. The way it was explained to me, it was missed. You're right. Sometimes that stuff changes over the course of the job. It changes the need for it, but on this one, it was missed.
Would that be
From
a
what I
city
understood.
employee?
No, it would be the project administrator.
And
But-
we did not check the work. I mean, where did it fall apart? Is what I'm wondering.
Where does it fall at?
Where did we lose? Where did we not notice that? Was that our responsibility or anyone?
Somewhere along the way, probably about 4 or 5 years ago when this began and was put through the process of design and then bid out. We probably did have our hand in it, but I wasn't even in this position at that time and I couldn't tell you exactly where the steps fell. I mean, for a $6.5 million project, 23,000 is not too bad. And like I said, it's all eligible for the grant too. So we're only looking at coming out of pocket with 5% of this. And I think it's important to do it right. You know what I mean? Let's not skip it today.
That's why I'm complaining.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Is there any other discussion? Or are we ready for a motion?
So 95% of this supplemental agreement will be covered by the grant.
The FAA grant covers 90%, and then the state of Oklahoma is covering another 5%. And actually, our portion is also covered through that Choctaw donation. But again, it changes the PO, so I've got to, through my purchasing procedures, make an official
But
change.
the city's portion of this is $500.
Yeah, without doing the math. And again, really not coming out of our pocket anyway. It's coming out of the Choctaw donation, so.
Is there some other big improvement we would like that we could get this 95%?
Well, and we're not done yet, so we're still wrapping up some numbers, and we don't know exactly where we're gonna stand at the finish of this project. There may be some other things that we can get out of it, because I understood too from the engineers that asphalt came in cheaper than we thought, which is a good news. We used a whole lot of it, but we don't have those final numbers yet, so we will try to squeeze it for everything we can. The catch is the FAA's got to approve what's grant eligible and what's not. And we've already asked them for one item, and they told us it was not grant eligible, so sometimes there's some room to work.
Chief Joins was clever enough to get 5 breathing apparatuses with that trick, so I'm asking.
Sure.
Are we ready for the vote? Do we have a motion?
I move we approve supplemental agreement number 4. C-2018-60A.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear,
Aye.
Trustee Tomlinson.
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham,
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye, motion carries. Under item B, consider approval of supplemental amendment number 5S for LBR Inc. C-2018-56A for an alteration in cost for testing and inspections on the runway extension project at Durant Regional Airport, Acre Field. I was gonna look that up, Marty.
I know. So again, being at the end of the project, we're trying to finalize all this. When I said asphalt was cheaper than what we thought, testing and inspections came out to be more expensive. And so as a part of the LBR contract, they are responsible for testing and inspections. So we're asking you to change this, this cost, and again, this is all grant eligible as well. So remember the 5%, 90%. We're actually asking you to change these. So not to exceed 165,000, where originally it was estimated not to exceed 150,000. So that's a $15,000 increase. And then the actual cost placed fee of 5,000 not to exceed 125. The original amendment said not to exceed 80. So we've got another, again, 45 there. You're talking about a total of 60,000, which these are not to exceed. So it doesn't mean we will get to that point, but we don't want to change them every day. So we're going to make this change one time. We think we're going to be real close on this. And again, every bit of this is grant eligible for the process. This is work LBR is actually already doing, and we need to accommodate our PO to cover the difference in the amount.
Any more questions for Marty? Or do I have a motion?
Move approval of the supplemental amendment to C-2018-56A.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear,
Aye.
Trustee Tomlinson,
Aye.
Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham,
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Madam Clerk, did I make the motion for 2018-56A, or did I say 2016?
I had you, because I'm looking at my Nova screen here.
For the record, I meant to say C-2018-56A.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yes.
These glasses sometimes,
Thank you, Marty. Is there any new business? If not, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Would the secretary please record the vote?
Trustee Shear,
Yes.
Trustee Tomlinson, Trustee Morris,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Brittingham,
Aye.
Chairman Groby.
We are adjourned. You want to say it again?